The journey of self-confidence is a dynamic and continuous process of self-discovery, action, and growth. Lao Tzu, in the Tao Te Ching, captures the essence of this journey by stating, "He who conquers others is strong. He who conquers himself is mighty." Genuine self-confidence, therefore, is not just a desirable quality, but the foundation for an authentic, resilient, and fulfilling life. To build it, it is necessary to integrate philosophical wisdom, psychological science, and everyday practices. Aristotle, in his work Nicomachean Ethics, introduces the concept of magnanimity, a virtue that balances humility and pride. The magnanimous person is one who recognizes their own worth without belittling others, celebrating their achievements with modesty and gratitude. Friedrich Nietzsche, in turn, challenges us with the will to power, an inner drive that leads us to expand our horizons and face challenges. In Thus Spoke Zarathustra, he proclaims, "Become who you are." The will to power is not about domination over others, but a deep desire for personal overcoming. Nietzsche invites us to face challenges as an opportunity for our development, transforming barriers into opportunities for growth. In psychology, Alfred Adler offers us a valuable map by exploring the relationship between the inferiority complex and the striving for superiority. Self-confidence, in the Adlerian perspective, is not the absence of imperfections, but the courage to embrace them. It is the acceptance that we are fallible human beings, constantly evolving. Instead of comparing ourselves with unrealistic standards of perfection, we can focus on our own progress, celebrating each step towards our goals, allowing us to build a sense of competence and resilience. Carl Jung, one of the giants of 20th century psychology, bequeathed us the concept of individuation, an arduous and continuous process of self-knowledge and integration. In Memories, Dreams, Reflections, he states, "Who looks outside dreams? Who looks inside awakes." Individuation involves confronting our shadow aspects, those we prefer to ignore or deny, and integrating them into our personality in a conscious and balanced way. It is the acceptance of our weaknesses, fears, and negative impulses, transforming them into sources of energy and growth. Individuation also involves the development of our luminous aspects, our talents, virtues, and potentials. Albert Bandura, with his theory of self-efficacy, revolutionized the way we understand motivation and success. Self-efficacy refers to the belief in our ability to perform tasks and achieve goals, even in the face of difficulties. Bandura teaches that confidence is not the certainty of success, but the conviction that we can handle failure. This mindset allows us to face challenges with more determination and persistence, transforming failure into learning and growth. An effective strategy to strengthen self-efficacy is to break down large goals into micro-challenges. For example, someone who wants to learn a new language can start with simple everyday phrases, gradually progressing to more complex conversations. By achieving small victories along the way, we build a history of success that reinforces our belief in our ability. Furthermore, self-efficacy can be influenced by vicarious experiences, observing other people achieving success, verbal persuasion, receiving encouragement and positive feedback, and emotional states, interpreting our emotions constructively. At the heart of self-confidence is self-knowledge, a map that guides us through the complexity of our psyche. Tools such as the Socratic method and the SWOT matrix are essential in this process. The Socratic method, based on deep questioning, invites us to explore our beliefs and fears. Questions like, "What fears prevent me from acting?" and "What underestimated talents do I possess?" help us identify internal blocks and recognize our potential. For example, someone who fears public speaking can ask, "What exactly scares me? Is it the judgment of others or the possibility of making mistakes?" By reflecting on these questions, it is possible to deconstruct limiting beliefs and find ways to overcome them. The SWOT matrix, in turn, is an analytical tool that allows us to map our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. In the personal context, strengths can include innate skills, such as creativity or resilience, while weaknesses can be limitations, such as the tendency to procrastinate. Opportunities can be favorable contexts, such as an expanding market, and threats can include external challenges, such as competition. For example, people who want to change careers can use the SWOT matrix to assess their transferable skills, Identify areas that need development, explore growing sectors, and anticipate potential obstacles. Fear, although an ancestral emotion that protects us from dangers, can become a paralyzing obstacle when it prevents us from pursuing our goals. Gradual exposure is an effective strategy to face situations that generate anxiety. For example, someone afraid of public speaking can start by practicing in front of a mirror, then to a small group of friends, and finally to a larger audience. This gradual approach allows us to build confidence and reduce anxiety, transforming fear into a surmountable challenge. Historical wisdom, personified in Epictetus's phrase, "It is not things that disturb men, but their judgments about these things," complements this strategy. Personal narrative is another powerful tool to rewrite our history and transform the past into a catalyst for growth. The narrative technique invites us to revisit past events, identifying moments when we overcame adversities. By rescuing these stories of resilience, we create an arsenal of reminders that strengthen us in the face of present and future challenges. Viktor Frankl, in Man's Search for Meaning, demonstrated that even in the most extreme circumstances, we can choose our response, finding meaning in suffering and transforming pain into purpose. For example, someone who faced a layoff can reinterpret this experience as an opportunity to discover new skills and redirect their career. Treating yourself with the same compassion we dedicate to a dear friend is a revolutionary act. Kristen Neff, a researcher of self-compassion, proved that this practice reduces anxiety, increases motivation, and promotes emotional well-being. Replacing self-criticism with realistic and kind affirmations, such as, "I am learning," allows us to recognize our failures without drowning in feelings of guilt. Self-compassion also involves recognizing our shared humanity, understanding that we all face challenges and make mistakes. Write a letter to yourself, as if you were consoling a dear friend who is going through a difficult time. Use kind and encouraging words. When faced with a mistake or failure, say to yourself, "This is difficult, but I will overcome it." It is important to differentiate self-compassion from self-pity. Self-compassion involves recognizing one's own pain and acting with kindness, while self-pity is victimization and self-commiseration. Self-compassion leads to growth and resilience, while self-pity can lead to stagnation. Philosophers like Soren Kierkegaard connected faith to the courage to act in the unknown, defining it as the passion for the possible. Creative visualization and affirmation rituals are powerful tools to strengthen this faith. By imagining ourselves achieving our goals and repeating phrases like, "I deserve success," we reprogram our mind, replacing limiting beliefs with positive affirmations. For example, an athlete can visualize themselves crossing the finish line, internalizing the feeling of achievement and strengthening their belief in their ability. Obstacles such as social comparison, perfectionism, and fear of failure can undermine self-confidence, but they are not insurmountable. Theodore Roosevelt reminds us that comparison is the thief of joy, while Brené Brown illuminates the importance of embracing vulnerability as a path to authenticity. Thomas Edison, after numerous attempts to create the light bulb, exemplifies resilience by stating, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." By reframing our view of failure, cultivating resilience, and practicing self-compassion, we can transform falls into momentum to lead us to achieve our goals and live a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Imposter syndrome is the belief that you are a fraud and that your successes are not deserved. Recognizing the syndrome is the first step, and remember your past achievements. The fear of judgment can be paralyzing. Practice cognitive restructuring, questioning negative thoughts, and replacing them with more realistic thoughts. Remember that the opinion of others does not define your worth. Practice authenticity and value your own opinion. Self-confidence is a personal and unique journey. To create a personalized action plan, follow these steps. Self-knowledge. Use the tools of the Socratic method and the SWOT matrix to identify your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Set realistic goals. Break down large goals into micro-challenges and celebrate each achievement. Treat yourself with kindness and understanding, especially in times of difficulty. Face your fears. Use gradual exposure to overcome your fears and expand your comfort zone. Rewrite your narrative. Identify stories of resilience in your past and use them as a source of inspiration. Cultivate faith in yourself. Use creative visualization and positive affirmations to strengthen your belief in your ability. By facing our fears, embracing our imperfections, and celebrating our achievements, we become strong and resilient. May we have the courage to take the first step and the wisdom to appreciate each stage of this transformative journey.